had to put the survivors to sleep. You had to aim your power. Now you're talking about a sleep cycle. What changed on this? Because it's completely different.
So the sleep cycle has 3 components to it. It has microsleep, which is the first one I'm going to talk about. Ultimately, players will experience Freddy differently. So when you're awake, he'll be intermittent at a certain distance, invisible past a certain distance, and completely visible within a tight range. You'll hear the terror radius by default instead of the lullaby. And that's pretty much it for the default microsleep. And you can hit people right away as Freddy. You don't have to wait for them to fall asleep.
Oh, okay, so now we're seeing some footage of Freddy blinking in and out. So at this moment, you would hear terror radius, right?
Exactly, as he's walking away.
Yes. And Freddy doesn't have any more to put anyone to sleep.
No. So this is the second component of the sleep cycle. Survivors will be falling asleep passively, so it's going to happen over 60 seconds or whatever time we choose. Keep in mind this is a work in progress, so anything may change, even with the things that I'm saying, but this should be the general idea of what's happening. After people fall asleep, Freddy should be completely visible, and you'll be hearing the lullaby instead of the terror radius, which is a little harder to detect where he's coming from.
Okay, so in this the sleep mode, right? A lot of people had feedback about the visual effect. So is that changing, or does it stay the same?
Absolutely. So the dream visual will be changing as well. People were saying that the graininess was a bit difficult for their eyes. We're working on this right now. We don't have an example of what it's going to look like, but look forward to see something different for that as well. And the dream world will be staying, of course.
Okay, so you're going to be falling passively asleep.
Yes.
Somehow you're going to need to wake up, right?
That's a really good point. So if you knew the previous Freddy, we had failed skill checks as an ability to wake up. Now any failed skill check will wake you up. That includes sabotage. In addition to failing skill checks, you can wake each other up. This is the old snap, snap, clap, clap, and then you're awake.
I think we had footage for the waking up elements.
Absolutely. If anything, people will be seeing everything later. This is just a sneak peek, of course. And the final component of waking up is the new dream object, which is a clock on top of a dresser. When you fall asleep, there will be a dream object that you can interact with that will always wake you up.
So it's way easier to get woken up by a fellow survivor or by a generator. Why would I want, as a survivor, to go to that sleep object?
Sometimes the skill checks might not be as easily accessible as people may have thought in the first place. In addition to that, waking up, both survivors need to be asleep. One survivor needs to be awake to wake up a sleeping survivor. So you may all be asleep, or there may be nobody near you. This will be a consistent way that people can find to wake up, as this was a complaint that people had initially. Okay,
so there was another build where it was making you fall asleep faster if you were not waking up with the object. Is that still the case on this work in progress?
No, we changed
that. That's changed.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that was just
thank you for asking, of course.
A follow-up question.
Yeah.
So now Freddy doesn't have to aim a power to put survivors asleep, but he does have powers of his own.
Oh, of course.
So what's different with the new Dream Demon power?
So this is the dream abilities.
Okay.
He's got dream traps, and he's got something else. I'm going to go into that after. It's a little teaser right now. So we start with dream palettes. Dream palettes, not like the Doctor, but similar to the Doctor. You can place dream palettes on spawn points throughout the map, where pallets would normally spawn, to place these fake pallets. Awake survivors do not see these pallets, so you have to play like a memory game and remember which ones were not there before you fell asleep, and then when you fall asleep, there will be fake pallets. These fake pallets, when you interact with them and drop them, they explode in blood.
So yeah, it's very rare nowadays that there's pallets everywhere, like double pallets everywhere. Not happening anymore, right?
We will be talking
So
about
if you
that.
see that, something might be problematic, fishy.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, okay, dream pallets. Was there anything else?
Of course. There's also a dream snare. So we're choosing between the dream pallets and the dream snares. For those of you at home, we're not sure if we're going to go for both in this base kit. It might be one that turns into an add-on, or the other one is base kit. The dream snares is an ability that you can use actively within a chase. It only affects sleeping survivors. And when you place it on the ground, it will take 2 seconds to arm, and when a survivor walks over it, they will be slowed for the time that the trap is active and for a lingering effect after that.
So we don't have a visual on this one yet, right?
This one is still a work in progress, and we are testing it internally right now.
Okay.
But they should be seeing some stuff soon, hopefully.
All right, so you talked about map pressure. Did you say anything about that
I did
earlier?
say map pressure.
Yes,
Yeah.
Freddie with map pressure. What is this?
What could that possibly be? So, some people saw a charge bar on in the video, the anniversary stream, if they're paying attention really closely. This is the generator teleport. So ultimately, as Freddie, you can aim at a generator, and you can channel an ability for 5 seconds. After the 5 seconds, you will appear at the generator.
So, so right now we're seeing footage of it from the killer's point of view. So you just aim to the generator and you just get there, right?
Exactly. You can also cancel it. Ultimately, the generator will explode in blood during the time period while you're channeling, and a husk